Get started.
Okay, we're gonna start. The boss is telling me to get lost.
It's
Okay,
showtime.
all mute, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Everybody mute.
Everybody, yeah, please. Not that I like the sound of my voice. I love to hear your voice also, but it makes it a little confusing for everybody. Well, good morning, everybody. Let me just do one other thing here so we can kind of connect this. Pin.
Everybody's muted.
Yep. To get started today, we're going to come to the front of our mats. We're going to bring our feet a little wider than shoulder width apart. We're going to make sure we have an alignment in our feet is such where the heels are aiming straight back. They're not turned inward or outward, and the toes are pointing straight forward. Let's make the whole body long, all the way through the vertebral column, all the way through the neck. Little note on how we make the neck long. If you can kind of bring your fingertips underneath your chin, look to the sky with the chin, and then use a slight pressure under the fingers, and then try to keep the chin elevated as it kind of draws down and in to lengthen for the spine. Let's open up your hands to face the front. Beautiful. Now, while we keep this nice elongated version of our body, we're going to come forward by hinging at the ankles. That's it. Everything else remains in place. You're going to feel pressurization in the pad of your feet and into the toes. And then we're going to back off of that. We're going to come backwards, drawing that whole body upward and then backward till we feel a pressurization in the heels. And then we're going to find a weighting equal between the pad of the foot and the heel by simply moving back and forth. And then once we kind of find that equilibrium, let's turn the palms to face externally or outward and then sweep them all the way up. As we sweep up, let's just make a Y today. So our thumbs are aiming backwards. We're going to use our fingers. We're going to separate them widely, and we're going to use the fingers to pull the arms long. Beautiful. Now, as we pull the arms long, use that thumb of yours on each hand and pull that whole arm and hand towards the back. Let's make sure your ribs are popping out. You have a nice engagement of your six-pack muscle. Beautiful. Now, let's turn the palms to face the earth and lower the hands all the way down. And let's try that one more time again. Open the palms externally, sweep up to the Y. That infamous philosophical question, why? And then use the fingers to pull the arms long, and then use the thumbs to pull everything backwards slightly. Beautiful. Let's release. Pull the thumbs in. Pull the elbows back. Let's engage with that six-pack, make it nice and strong. Let's bend the knees slightly, and then let's pull the hips backwards. And then let's fold halfway down. You notice that there's very little movement in my spine or neck. All of the movement right now is happening in the hips. So as we rise up, and as we pull the hips back and descend the upper body downward, we're doing this simply to create a nice lengthening through the belly of our hamstrings. It does have a belly. It's the area of the muscle that we want to lengthen out. If we're operating with a straight leg, we tend to pull on the tendinous portion of that muscle and forego that belly. I'm going to lengthen out. I'm going to do this one more time. I'm going to hold down. Now we're going to take the hands straight out beside the body. Let's make an effort to hollow out the belly. So we're pulling that belly button up and inward. If we look straight towards the earth, the same mechanism we used earlier to make the neck long, where we got our fingers under the chin. We're not going to do that right now, but we're just going to simply make the neck nice and long. Beautiful. Now, the back of our hands are aiming towards the sky. We're going to pull them up a little higher, and then we're going to bring the palms down to meet. And then we're going to do this reverse. Palms face the earth, back of the hands pull up, and then we release. And then we do this one more time. Beautiful. Stand up, keep the arms up. Turn the palms to face forward if they're not presently there. Sweep the thumbs up to reach up and touch. You'll notice that my hands are in front of my face. I can see them in my peripheral vision. Sue is very familiar with that word, right, Sue? Now, sweep back down all the way till we get the pinkies to touch. And then sweep all the way back up for the thumbs, back down for the pinkies. You notice there's great length in my arms. Try to replicate what I'm doing. And then one time back down, and then relax it. Take your heel, kick it up into your butt. It's great elongation for our front leg muscles, the quadriceps. Good activation to get some blood flow into our hamstrings. Beautiful. And then take your knee, raise it, slowly, transfer. Warming up our hip flexors. I like to emulate like I'm running in slow motion. I always liked when you used to do that as a kid. My dad used to have this Super 8 camera, and then you would play it forwards at high speeds, and we look like we're little chipmunks running all over the place. Play it backwards, and then you play it in slow motion. All right, let's bring it back down. I'm going to come to the center of my mat. If you could do the same, please. I'm going to take a sweep up of the arms. I'm going to pull the hips back. I'm going to bend the knees slightly. I'm going to come all the way down, or as far down as our body will allow right now. We're still kind of warming up. I have my fingertips on the floor, but if that's not possible for you, you can have them on your thighs. You notice that I'm creating great length for the back and also for the neck. Now I'm going to lower my hips. You're going to notice that my knees start to push forward of that toe box. That's okay today. Now I'm going to brace by pulling in and engaging that six pack. I'm going to raise the shoulders while I keep my hips in place. And you'll notice I'm going to avoid arching the back. This is unhinging through the hips. Now, there's more weighting in my heels. So if you can kind of get that, that'd be awesome. Now, while you hold in this position, we're going to create an isometric activation. And that simply is, you're going to try to spiral your heels outward. So we're not moving them. We're just trying to activate the muscles that create that external rotation of the heels. And as we do that, I want you to be mindful that the knees aren't rotating in. We're going to take that nice alignment of the knees as we create that activation. Let's bring the hands out in front. We're going to raise up, and we're going to squat down. The range of motion, as we continue to do this, the range of motion will be determined by the warmth of your body, right? So as you start to warm up and you feel you can increase the range of motion, take it to a deeper depth. All right. Let's hold up and then come back down to the squat. We're going to hold here. Beautiful. Try to create width through the shoulders. A lot of times when we talk about width, we talk about retraction, and that's kind of a different process. That's where you kind of compress the shoulder blades together in the back of your body. We want to expand them to kind of get them out of the way of the spine, so they're decompressing. Now come back up, relax the arms, open the palms, sweep them up. Thumbs come together. Baby fingers come down to see each other again. It's been a while since they visited. Come back up. And on this one, we're going to fold halfway forward, bring the arms back. So our palms are now facing the earth. I'm going to give you the side view. Nice and long for the spine, hollowing out my belly. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now take the hands, sweep them forward. I'm going to rotate the palms to face each other. Sweep them back. Sweep them back forward. So as I sweep back, I'm rotating my palms to face the earth. And as I sweep forward, the palms are rotating to face each other. Beautiful. As I sweep back this time, let's bring our hands down onto our shins. Let's lower that booty. Let's raise the shoulders. Let's engage. Let's engage that six pack. Keep it nice and strong. We're going to slide the hands up onto the kneecaps. There's a little raise in the hips, but mostly we're opening, we're unhinging through the hips here. Now, take the palms off the kneecaps. Open them to face the earth. Sweep those hands back as far as you can. Beautiful. Let's bring the hands forward. Rotate the palms to face each other. Use the fingers to pull the hands long. Take a big inhale. On the exhale, stand tall. Nice. Release the arms. All right, we're all warmed up. Everyone all set to go? Simple nod of the head, that's all you need. Little reaffirmation. Now, you're gonna take your left foot, you're gonna step it back. You're coming into a lunge position. You're gonna find a nice distance or width between the feet. So much the same way as when we stand, we have a little width. A lunge is the same thing. We're just gonna hit that same width. We're gonna have the ball of the foot, back and front, being our connection point. Primarily, I want you to kind of get that experience, try to get that feel. Now, if your heel in the back is rotated inward or outward, try to aim it straight up. So as we work in this pose right now, Kirsten's coming out to remind me about the camera. Look up there, she says. It's a bird, it's a plane, it's Superman. All right. So as we keep that, I want you to try to worry. Sorry, no, it's not worry. I want you to try, she's worried. I want you to try to work to find a distribution of weight that's relatively equal between the front and back. Excuse me as I kind of clear my throat. So we're not leaning in and we're not leaning back and we're not arching. We have a nice solid foundation. Beautiful. So this isn't a lot of work right now. We're going to bring that on. Now that we kind of got the positioning down, we're going to use the hips with nice long spine, not flexing as we move forward. We're just flexing to the hip and not the spine. We're going to bring some weight into the, in my case, right leg. It's the front leg, the leg that's, so you feel that. I want you to try to elevate the hips. We're going to push from both feet and try to lift up those hips as we create length and lean in a little more. Nice. I'm going to keep the work on that gluteal, a little bit of the hamstring working isometrically. We're going to intensify the work if it's possible to do by bringing the hands forward. So we're kind of bringing more weight into this equation. Nice. Now, if it's possible, we're going to work the posterior chain of muscles of the back by simply raising the arms. You're going to feel a heightened level of work right over the hip, right into that gluteal a little bit, but mostly in that right butt cheek. All right. Let's release the hands. Let's sweep the arms back. We're going to get off this leg in 1 second. We're going to rotate the palms externally, so the palms are facing, sorry, internally, so they're facing the earth. We're going to pull the hands back. I'm going to pull it up one more time. I've rotated my palms to face each other. I'm using my fingers to pull my arms long, and I'm not overly raising them. I have a nice activation of work. On my next breath, as I release it, I'm going to step forward and switch up legs. Opposite side, same setup, same width, ball of each foot still active. As I step it back, I find an equal weight, sorry, I was demonstrating what you shouldn't be doing, which is leaning forward. We're going to find a nice balance. So if you need to bend the back knee, that's okay. We have that nice distributed force. As I find length through the spine, I'm going to try to now lean in. Have that great breath. I'm going to release the hands back. I'm going to hang out here for a little bit. Boat traffic starting early today. Little boat going by in the background. As we start to get those muscle fibers communicating, they're talking to us right now. We're going to bring the hands forward to kind of intensify the work. As our palms face each other, I create width through my shoulders, but I create length through my arms. And I'm using the fingers separated widely to pull my arms long. Nice. Adding on to this, I'm going to raise my arms. So it's a raise by not necessarily just lifting them, I'm pulling them out and lifting them up while I work to make my shoulders broad, while I work to keep my spine braced. You can feel that nice effort starting to make something glow. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, the muscles in the left cheek. Let's roll the arms back, sorry. Pull the arms back. Pull them back as far as you can. Beautiful. Same kind of effect on this side. That tension is building, that fire is building. We're going to raise the arms back up. Going to take a next breath as the release point. As we exhale, step forward, bring the arms to the sky. Bend your knees, pull your butt back, fold all the way down. Nice. Now, lower those hips. As you push them back towards the sky, let the body kind of fold down. Hang out, take a breath or two. Let's once again lower the hips by bending through the knees. Let's bring your hands up onto the thighs. Nice. Now, I'm going to come sideways again. We're going to have a nice elevation. We're going to hollow out the tummy so we have no flexion in that upper body or the upper spine. We're going to bring the hands back forward. So we're kind of in a squat-like position. We're going to limit the range of motion of this squat, but we're going to create a special activation as we do this. So remember earlier when we practiced the external rotation of the heels, the isometric thing we did, without letting the knees buckle in? We're going to do that again. So activate that external rotation, lower slightly, raise slightly. Now you should be feeling this, if you're connecting with this, right on the outside of your hip bones and kind of into the little muscles of the small muscles on the side of your hips and possibly even into those larger gluteal maximal muscles. And just keep oscillating, slightly up, slightly down. Keep that active external rotation of the heels. This should be burning like crazy. Are you burning? Is this like make it stop finally kind of burning? Good, we're almost there. Down and hold, raise the arms, pull them long, stand tall, fold all the way down, step into a plank pose, beautiful. Making sure we're not pedestaling our arms. Let's pull the hips backward, upward to down dog. Very important with down dog is we want to see our arms in the peripheral vision. There's Sue's favorite word again. Making sure we're not pulling through with our chin. We want the neck nice and long. We want that whole spinal column nice and long. A lot of times people tend to over-rotate. Down dog. It doesn't make it a better pose by doing that. It just kind of, it comes at an orthopedic cost. We want to work with a braced spine at all times, even in a down dog type of position. All right, so now we got those shoulders nice and active. We're going to come back to a high plank. And we're going to do this, not just because Shirley loves to do them, but because I love to do them too. Push up, come on down, and then push back up. Knees to the floor are an option, of course. Come back down. Come back up. It's like that song, Fifth Dimension, I think it was. What goes up must come down. We're going to do this 2 more times. Push back up. 1 more time. As we come down, push back up. Great. Bring your knees to the floor. As you walk your hands back under the shoulders, we're trying to position the knees underneath the hips. So the hips aren't back or forward. They're kind of hovering just above the knees as our hands are located just underneath our shoulders. This is our bear position. So make sure we've got nice width of all of the connection points, the hands and the knees and the feet, the toes. Let's take your knees and lift them just an inch off the floor. Boom. I'm going to hold this. So this is what's known as bear position. We're going to make sure when our body's not doing funny things, like the knees haven't turned out, they haven't turned in, we haven't shifted forward or back or side to side with our body. We're just hovering Knees above the earth. I'm going to gently lower them back down again. Nice. I'm going to try that one more time. Lift up, hold. Now, a lot of times people feel compression in the wrists. You can simply draw the hips back just slightly, kind of reduce some of the flexion in the wrist itself, help relieve some of the pressure, if it's needed, of course. Now, let's lower back down, come up onto both knees. I'm going to give you a side view of this. So we're going to make sure we have hip hinging. That's the hips hinging by leaning forward. So we're going to avoid the spinal flexion as we hip hinge. We're going to lower the hips so there's elevation between the heels and your bottom. Take your left hand, right hand, reach it forward. Beautiful. Now, this is going to be felt right in the posterior muscles of our upper body, the back, of course. We're going to have our toes tucked under so they have a connection with the floor. We're going to pull the arms long, and then we're going to sweep them wide. So we did a version of this facing the earth. And this is our kneeling down version. As we pull the hands forward, palms continue to face. We're going to bring the palms to connect. We're going to sweep them back open. Beautiful. I'm going to come head on to you now. Yes. I can see your happy, smiling, sweaty faces. Let's open back up. Come back together with the hands. Now, our pinkies. We're going to rotate the palms so the pinkies face. So we're like serving a platter. We take the elbows, I'm going to pull them back. I'm going to take them beside the body. I'm going to pull them as far back as we can with the palms facing to the sky. Nice. Now, sweep forward, pinky to pinky, extend all the way out, separate the fingers. So we're not closing down the hands, we're opening them up. Pull, 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 and then elbows. Initiate the pull back, sweeping back. Give that nice pull, keep that extension in the spine and in the neck. Nice. Extend back out, pinky to pinky, serve it up, serving up love. That's all we're doing today, right? Got the love serving up. Woo! Can you just grab it? Nice. Now pull back, take your palms, turn them in, face each other, and then make fists of them. Pop your thumbs up. Nice. Now hinge forward slightly more. Beautiful. Pull the elbows back. Make the spine long, make your neck long. Beautiful. Hang out here. 2 more breaths. Awesome. Now, extend back out the arms. Rotate the palms, open them, separate the fingers, pinky to pinky, extend out. And then draw back in. Nice. Shake it out. Come down onto all fours. When you're ready, elevate your bear. Take your knees up off the earth, float it. Now we're going to go clockwise. We're going to simply try to draw a little circle. Imagine you had a long pencil that extended from your belly button all the way down to the floor that enabled you to kind of draw a little circle on your mat. So we're going to go around clockwise one more time. So our knees are floating and we're drawing that little circle. Come back center, go the opposite way. All right. As you continue to float the knees, come to a stop. Take your left foot, extend it backwards. Boom. You're going to feel that right quad fire up. That's awesome. Come back down, switch sides. Extend the leg long and strong. So that heel is driving back. Come back down. Opposite side. Extend the heel. Come back down. Last one, I promise. Extend that heel back. Come down onto all fours. Beautiful. Extend the hands all the way out. This time, flip your toes under so the tops of your feet are touching. Spread your knees widely and come down into nice child's pose. That's awesome work. If you ever watched I like watching quirky movies like Austin Powers. If you ever watched that movie, there's a character on it called Mini-Me. And the reason why I say that is you come back up onto all fours, onto your knees. is that on my Zoom screen, I'm not really watching the real you, I'm watching the mini me version of it because it's so small. All right, so as we're back on the knees, you'll notice I have a little wider than hip width stance to them. My toes are tucked under at the back. And I'm going to take my arms all the way out. I'm going to use the fingers to pull the arms long. So right now, what we're really practicing, as you continue to hold your arms out, I'm just going to use my hands to kind of demonstrate. What we're practicing is opening through the chest and opening through the back by using our fingers to pull the arms long. So this is really decompressing our shoulder blades off of our spine. And you'll notice that as we sit during the day, that our shoulders tend to roll forward. That's compression. Or we have other things going on where we try to squeeze the shoulder blades together to kind of get that stabilization of them. That's, again, just compression. So we want to decompress. We're simply practicing that right now. How's that feel? A little tiring? Want to put those arms down? Let's do that. Beautiful. Now, a little bit of movement. Come back up, shoulder height, palms face forward, thumbs are facing the sky. Lower, and raise, and then lower, and raise. Hold. Pull long your arms. Pull them long. Beautiful. Now, bring the palms together. The only thing moving right now are my arms. So it's the shoulder joint that's moving, rotating inward and outward. Let's bring them back together. Let's bring them back out. Beautiful. Let's relax. Come back down to all fours. Elevate the knees. Step the feet back. You're coming into a plank pose. Beautiful. Pull your hips up and back. Your shoulders should feel a little bit awakened, maybe a lot. It's all right. We're still going to work on them a little bit with less intensity. Although I'm in down dog, I'm just envisioning your smile as I said that. Come back to high plank. Come down onto all fours. Sorry, come down onto your forearms, I mean. Right now I'm in a modified cobra-like position. My palms are facing the earth. I'm not sure if it's visible in the camera because I've lost sight of from my angle here. But palms are on the floor. I'm rounding through my upper back. So I have more of a external rounding. I'm lengthening through the spine, basically. I'm going to bring my knees as a contact point to my mat by raising my hips. So I often refer to this as 8-point plank. 2 hands, 2 elbows, 2 knees, and 2 feet. So as I raise up my hips, you're going to feel an activation, if you're like me, in my core area. So my abdominal region and in my ribs somewhat. To intensify the activation of muscle over the ribs, I'm going to isometrically connect to this. And I do that simply by trying to pull my elbows towards my hips. You're going to start to feel a little trembling through that core of yours. And then you're going to relax that, bring the hips back down. Lift back up. So, side view, which may not be so obvious because I've got a lot of clothing on, looks just like this. And then we come back to our exercise by taking the hips up. You'll notice the elevation of my hips is just about shoulder height. So I haven't popped them up high. They're just in line. My neck is long. I'm going to create that isometric activation by trying to pull my elbows towards my hips. I'm going to hold for 3, 2, and then relax. For the last one, I'm going to come face forward to you. I'm going to start this up now. Raise my hips, raise yours, hold on this. You'll notice you might fatigue a little faster. That's all right. Now, hollow out your belly this time. Hollow it out. Hold that hollow. Create that activation, that isometric activation. Hollow and pull the elbows. Try to pull, 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 pull. Hold 3, 2, come back onto your knees. Great job. Flip your toes under. Step your feet underneath you, coming back to a standing position. Drop your hips. We're going to come there one step at a time. No one's in a hurry, right? We're going to bring our palms onto our shins. We're going to make sure our butt isn't hanging out in the air there. We're going to lower it down and get those muscles in it a little more active. Hollow out your belly. Now, this time, push your palms into the shin, widen through the shoulders. Keep that spine and neck long. I'm going to keep the spine braced. As we hold here, we're working back to standing still. I want you to try to externally rotate your heels. Try to turn them in outwards. Not a physical movement, just a muscle activation, right? Come up slowly. Sweep the hands to the sky. Oh, beautiful. Relax the arms. Let's do that again. Sweep up. And then relax. Whew. Take your right foot, step forward, left foot steps back. Find the balance front to back. Take your palms to face outward, and then take your arms out. Beautiful. Now, take your palms to face the sky. Sweep them all the way up. Keep them separated so you're about shoulder width apart with your hands. Nice. We're going to grow one side of the body. So if we have our right foot forward, we're going to grow the left side of the body. Use your fingers to help pull both sides of the body long. It's just one side growing longer than the other. Come back center. And let's do that one more time. Let's be mindful of what's happening within our feet. We're not rolling to the outside of that back foot. The ball of that back foot is still grounded to the floor. Last time, 3 times the charm. Come back center. Bring your hands, hearts. Step it forward, step the opposite foot back. Find the balance. Extend the hands up, so that's sent out first. Got to keep it equal. Got to keep it equal. Whoops. You can tell I've had an injury on the left side of my body. I'm less stable on this side. Now, flip the palms sky, sweep them all the way up. Pull those arms nice and long. Extend. So we're coming over slightly to our left this time. Come back center. Extend. Come back center. Last time, extend. Come back, oops. Come back center. Step it forward. Step the opposite leg back. Whoops. This time, extend the hands all the way out. Palms are facing, shoulder width apart with the hands. Rotation. So we find that nice balance front to back. We're going to take our hands, keeping them the same distance apart, and rotate to the right. Not a big rotation. Probably 15, 20 degrees of rotation. So we're not trying to get crazy with this. We're just working on a little bit of the spinal rotator muscles. Getting them active, keeping the spine braced and stable as we move, coming back center. Spreading those shoulders wide, keep those arms long. Rotate back right. Come back center. And one more time through. As you return center, hands, hearts, step back foot forward, and the front foot back. Arms extend out. Balance it. Rotate. Center. Rotate. center, and then rotate. We went through this side a little quicker, I know. Come back center. Back foot steps forward as you bring hands to heart. Now, widen through the shoulders, bend through the knees, pull that butt back, push your knees forward. So we're in a squat-like position. Nice. Forearms to thighs. As we hold here, take the ball of each foot and try to rotate it internally. So you're going to feel the inner thighs start to activate. As you rotate that or create that rotational effect or turning effect of the toes, I want you to try to use these side body muscles, side of the legs, to keep the knees from turning inward. So work to pull or rotate in without closing in the knees, using the side body muscles to keep that external rotation. Bring your hands out. Yes. Hollow out the belly. Keep it nice and engaged and strong. Hands, heart, stand up. Ah. Judging by Kirsten's smile on her face, that was a good one, right? Come back down. Try to rotate the ball of each foot inward while you hold the knees in place. Hollow out, extend out. Hold. Inner thighs. Say good morning to them. Hello. Are you feeling it? I hope so. Stand up, hands, heart. Beautiful. Pull those, bend the knees, pull the hips back, half forward fold. Now, as you fold forward all the way, bring your fingertips to the earth, hang out. Extend to a flat back. Bend the knees as you extend to a flat back. Spine and neck long. Lower the hips. Unhinge through those hips as you raise the upper body, hollow out the tummy. Sweep the hands all the way up. Beautiful. Full forward fold. Come down. Step back to a plank position. Nice. Pull your hips up and back, down dog. Right leg, raise it. Switch it for the left. Switch it for the right. I'm moving nice and slowly. First one done loses. Switch it. We're going one more time each side. You'll notice that the movement changes when we remove the momentum of the movement away. Muscle is required to activate to make the movement happen. It's a better quality of movement. Rushing doesn't necessarily make it better. It just makes it faster. And sometimes fast loses the qualitative aspect of the movement. Come back to plank. Beautiful. Come down onto your knees. We're going to finish up with some stretching. Just have a few more minutes to go. You've been working hard. The benefit of doing stretching after the work is that the muscles have been vascularized. You've got blood flow into them. You've created length through them. And now it makes the stretching considerably more effective. So you'll notice I'm in a four-leg position. My foot extending forward. Some of us have, the knee needs to be elevated. That's fine. You don't have to be me. You just have to be you, right? So I'm bringing flexion to my ankle, length to my leg. But if your knee needs to be bent, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. So we're going to come halfway forward. I want you to brace the spine as you come into this stretch. Now, I want you to ask yourself this very important question. As you came forward, where did you feel the pull? If you felt it down by your knee, I want you to elevate your knees slightly. Because again, if we're feeling it down there, that's on the tendinous portion of that hamstring muscle. So I want you to bend the knee so we can kind of get more into the belly of that hamstring muscle. Fold forward a little more if you can. I'm going to hang out for another couple of breaths. If you bent your knee and you're working to straighten it, again, if that experience of the pull on the knee or right behind it starts to happen, just back off of it slightly. We want to lengthen that hamstring muscle. You've got to stretch it properly. Okay, come back up. Switch sides. Same setup, opposite side. Halfway down. Look for the experience. Adjust if you need. I need to adjust, so I'm doing it. If I can do it, you can do it, right? Come a little deeper into the stretch if you can. Once that muscle starts to gain acceptance of the fact that you want it to lengthen, it'll start to lengthen. And if you can, try to work to a slightly straighter leg. And if you start to feel that pull right behind the knee, back it off. Seems kind of counterintuitive. It sounds like you got to work harder to get that flex. No, you don't really have to work hard for flexibility. You have to work smart. Come down a little deeper. I'm going to hold for another breath. As you release, come back up. We're going to sweep the legs around, come onto our knees. When we're upon our knees, you're going to take your right foot, step it forward. You're going to have nice width between each knee, just like we were standing. We're going to take that back foot as we turn it under. I'm going to ask you to hollow out your tummy, make your spine, and make your neck long. Now, I'm going to push forward slightly. So again, this is the same kind of mechanism for stretching. If I feel it pulling hard in one area, I'm not really stretching the muscle. I'm just creating tension on the connection point of the muscle. So we want to try to minimize that. So back off the forward or back as needed. As the muscle starts to elongate, then you can take a little more depth of the range of motion. Much more effective. Yeah, so while we hold here, we're going to back off a little bit. And then another component of this stretch that I kind of went through quickly was pelvic rotation. So if I took my pelvic girdle and I tried to rotate it so that the bottom was rotating forward and the top was rotating backward, it's going to create a little bit of activation in that. So again, use that as a guide to kind of how to open the muscle or muscles involved with this. With that activation, when I come back to the stretch, you notice I'm not moving greatly. I could like take this way down, but it's not important to have such great range of motion. Let's back off this one. Let's switch sides. Oops. Same setup. We're not going to do the pelvic rotation yet. We're just going to simply push forward. Just till we feel a nice opening over the hip. You'll notice that I haven't got a forward lean. I've got a nice vertical orientation. Just some nuances with the stretch. Come back. Rotate. Push forward. Let's back off of the stretch. As you come up to standing, let's bring your hands over heart. Let me thank you for your awesome participation. We did a lot of work today. You did a lot of work today. I hope you enjoyed the class.
Thank you for being with us.
And
They
thank
can't
you.
hear me.
Yeah, they can.
Okay. Yes, thank you guys.
Let me turn the volume on.
High
Come
five.
off of mute.